this video, I want to address that FUD, so make sure to stick around for this whole thing. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who takes the time to like these videos and subscribe to the channel. These two simple things really do help me out so much. Also, if any of you are new and are looking for a good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange uphold down this. I'll jump right into it. I hope you guys enjoy the content. I want to start out this video and cover some brand new FUD being thrown at XRP and some things I necessarily agree with, right? There's a lot of smart people out there, and I always say this on the channel, that don't necessarily invest in or like XRP. That's totally fine, right? I don't expect every single person in the world to like XRP. There's been a ton of great investments out there that I haven't necessarily understood or taken the time to fully appreciate, and I've probably had views on them that weren't necessarily correct. So I don't expect everyone to just love XRP and throw money at it and think it's the holy grail like we do, right? That's unrealistic. But it's another thing to be throwing out criticism that really isn't valid. Now, one of the criticisms that I think is completely invalid is the idea that Ripple is creating an institutional business that doesn't do anything for XRP. This was something recently said on Crypto Town Hall, but funny enough, this statement was followed up by some of these institutions will use XRP, and XRP is used as collateral. If you take a look at what Ripple's business is, they are building an ecosystem for traditional financial institutions around the XRP ledger. A lot of people see not every single product Ripple rolls out involves XRP. And that makes them say that XRP isn't needed or Ripple doesn't care about XRP. Guys, it's so silly. I bring this example up all the time, but it's so important to understand. Ripple's business is not going to do every single thing on the XRP ledger. Why is that? Not everything needs to be done on the XRP ledger. Not everything needs decentralized instantaneous settlement. Ripple's first product for moving money was actually a product that didn't even involve XRP. It was just a messaging platform. It was a copycat of Swift. Ripple knew that a lot of people weren't ready to do instantaneous settlement. It was scary. It was a confusing idea. It was new. So what did they do? They built a better Swift, a better messaging platform. That way, customers could take advantage of that messaging platform and build trust, build rapport, build a relationship with Ripple so they felt more comfortable moving to XRP settlement. This is simply how you build a business. You have to meet customers where they're at. Forcing people to jump into blockchain technology could be the complete loss of that client. But a lot of their clients might want to get into cryptocurrency. They might not be ready. And in the interim, hey, let's focus on some of the easier things that we can still do better than some of these legacy providers. In my opinion, that is genius, because not only do you keep the relationship, you keep the partner, you get to prove to them doing are safe and efficient, and then alter your product to make sure it's something that they do want to participate in when eventually they drop some of the risks and fears around cryptocurrency. So this idea that Ripple isn't doing anything with XRP is patently false. It is so untrue, and it is so obvious that it doesn't even make sense for them not to include XRP. At the end of the day, Ripple probably builds great centralized software, but the holy grail of what Ripple is doing is having a space-age technology that has never existed before, that they have their arms completely wrapped around, that the rest of the market has slept on. XRP is the beating heartbeat, as Brad Garlinghouse says, of everything Ripple does. And just because the market isn't necessarily ready to jump fully into blockchain technology right now and move every single system they have to a crypto-native solution, doesn't mean that Ripple isn't paving that path to ultimately make that happen.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can. First up, let's talk about AI color themes. You can get any combos you want, bold and bright, minimalist and sleek, or something you didn't even think of. Just describe the vibe you want, or even use the colors of your logo, and let AI do its thing. Beautiful. Next up is the AI section. This is great for those website essentials like a contact section or a place to subscribe. Now, I'm running a sale, so I punch in some details, and just like that, I have a promo section. Functional and beautiful. I love it. Now, for the AI text creator, I got some products that need description, so I type in some keywords, and there it is. I've got copy that lands. Now, let's see what the AI image creator can do. Sometimes you just want to spice up your visual game. Type your idea and watch it turn into a high-quality image in seconds. You can have some real fun with this. If you
So the first thing that's just FUD in my opinion. It's so untrue. And if you just look at what Ripple is doing, it is completely obvious that that is not the case. Now, the other thing that I think is very interesting is this. Essentially, Dave Weisberger came in and he says, look, the upside to XRP is limited. He thinks that what Ripple is building has real value, but the upside of XRP might not be there. Now, in my opinion, this is more of something that I would put in the area of a disagreement. I don't really understand that statement, because if you take a look at XRP's performance against Bitcoin since its inception, it has outperformed Bitcoin for the vast majority of its history. And in the past 5 years, it has outperformed Bitcoin in almost every single year. So like, what do you mean that the price performance isn't there? Does that mean Bitcoin's price performance isn't there? Does that mean XRP you expect to start underperforming Bitcoin soon? Like, what does that really mean? If XRP throughout its entire history has been one of the best performing cryptocurrency assets and assets in general of all time, what makes you think that the price appreciation or price performance of XRP is capped? I just don't understand it. It's one thing to be looking at something that is clearly underperformed, hasn't done anything, has gone down in value, and say, you know what, I don't think this thing is going to perform in the future. It's like, all right, well, that's fair. It hasn't done anything. But if you're looking at something that has significantly outperformed Bitcoin for the vast majority of its history and continues to, at minimum, stay on par to Bitcoin and keep appreciating against it, it's like, well, where is that thought process coming from? Is there going to be a huge shift in the market away from things like XRP? Because the opposite seems to be happening with the rollout of ETFs and institutional adoption and a lot more people focusing on United States crypto-centric solutions. So what is that shift going to be? Why would we see that? Because over the entire history of XRP, the opposite has been true. That's one of those things that I sum up to a disagreement. Someone brings me a reason why they think the narrative of digital gold is stronger than a digital decentralized clearinghouse, and that's totally fine. I'm happy to hear the argument. But I think the use case for Bitcoin is really being capped at being digital gold, which is cool. It's interesting, but it's a small subset of the valuable properties of cryptocurrency technology. When I look at cryptocurrency technology, I look at settlement. I look at decentralized instant liquidity. These things to me are more valuable than digital gold. So what do I think is going to happen? The market's going to value those things as more valuable than digital gold. That's my thesis for why I think XRP can actually outperform and flip Bitcoin. I think it's entirely possible. But until I see something that tells me this is absolutely not the case because of X, Y, and Z, and XRP has been underperforming and no one's going to want to hold, those kinds of things just don't necessarily resonate with me. And I haven't yet heard a good understanding or a good argument on why XRP's price potential to the upside is somehow theoretically capped. No one's made that argument to me, certainly not one that I was willing to alter my own thesis for. I understand some people not understanding the XRP ledger, not understanding why people might want to hold XRP, but that's just part of being early. Not everyone's going to get it, right? Not everyone understood that NVIDIA was about to take over the AI revolution. Not a lot of people thought that Amazon was going to dominate e-commerce. Not a lot of people even thought the internet was even going to be a thing, let alone cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. So opinions don't mean much to me, especially for people who aren't exposed or invested in an asset. Look, if we all see this thing happening and you see it differently, the market will prove with time which one it ends up being true. But overall, an opinion or an idea of how things are going to shake out, I'll respect it and I'll listen to it. But unless I can see your calculations, your thesis drawn out in front of me, then it's going to be hard for me just to subscribe to a random statement like XRP can appreciate in value to the likes of Bitcoin.
When you deliver with DoorDash, you get to choose when you do it and when you don't.
Okay, I think I'll do it now.
Now works, yeah. But if it doesn't, you can also set your schedule around your other.
I want to finish this video off and talk about something a lot more serious, because this actually comes from a dear friend of mine in the community, and that is Darren Moore Jr. He recently posted on his X that he had been hacked, and honestly, I was really hoping this wasn't the case. I saw him kind of putting out some stuff around this, making it seem like he got hacked, and I had my fingers like quadruple crossed that he didn't get hacked. Guys, Darren is an extremely technical person. He's also someone who really understands these asset classes. If you ever watch one of his videos, actually, he's the person in many aspects that taught me what I know about this ecosystem. He's been an incredible influence to me to understand these things, to understand the more macro view. And he's someone who's very technically knowledgeable. He does a whole bunch of stuff on cybersecurity on his channel. he was using a ledger, ultimately got hacked. Now, guys, I don't want to sit here and speculate on how he got hacked. He put an entire video out on it. I watched it, and honestly, it's just one of those things where people don't realize that when you're your own custodian, you provide custody for yourself, it's more than just holding a ledger. Listen to this 9-minute video. I mean, it's going to be so over some people's heads. They're going to be sitting there scratching their head like, geez, I need to be ultra careful even looking at my ledger. Unfortunately, like I said, I mean, this is a terrible part of the cryptocurrency industry right now, and I feel terrible for Darren. I'm glad he's making this video. I'm so happy. It looks like he's doing well. I can definitely see how this could be a real devastating thing. So I just want to really raise awareness for people to go check out this video he put out there. He makes it very clear he's not asking for any donations, but obviously, guys, he is going to put out a way for people to help him. And I just want to raise awareness and let you know this is one of the people who have taught me more about XRP than a lot of people out there. He really is a thought leader in this space. He's not someone who goes out and does a lot of hype. He doesn't really care that much about views. He just cares about putting out good content. And I just want to make sure this is seen by the community because he's one of the people out there who really deserves it. A lot of people are wondering, how do I not fall into this? How do I be careful? How do I stay away from the risks of a ledger? I mean, that's a big reason why a lot of people out there are switching over to institutional custody at the end of the day. The complexities of holding a ledger, the risks associated with it are a lot. It's not to say that institutional custody necessarily comes cheap. There's costs associated with it. You have to pay for certain things, but it's to mitigate against things like this. And, you know, it's just one of the unfortunate parts of this cryptocurrency industry. And my heart goes out to Darren. I'm so happy he's doing well. I think the community is going to get him back on his feet, and I do think he's going to be made whole. But these are the types of things that, unfortunately, is part of the industry right now. And if you hold a ledger, if you don't want to do institutional custody, look, the biggest thing I would tell people, unfortunately, is just to never touch it, never look at it, never open it, never do anything with it. That seems to be the only safe way to really interact with one of these things, because the attack vectors are just so multi-dimensional. It's hard to even track what the new attack vector even is. I know that's not necessarily the most reassuring way to end this video, but more than anything, I'm really doing it to raise awareness. There's constantly people in my comment section pretending to be me, constantly in other people's comment section. Guys, you just gotta just put the thing away and never look at it, never open it up, and never send anything off of it. I mean, that's the only way I really see you being able to properly and safely interact with a ledger nowadays. And if it's something that you don't feel comfortable with, I think seeking new solutions in terms of not relying on yourself to provide these security details is probably the best way to go. But really, more than anything, I wanted to do this to raise attention to Darren Moore Jr. Like I said, he's been someone who's been astronomically influential to me, learning about, understanding, and actually having the confidence to come out as myself. So if any of you saw this, were unsure of who Darren was, wasn't sure if it was someone you wanted to help or reach out to, this is just my testament to him and everything he's done for this industry, everything he's done for this community, and just letting you guys know that he's not someone who's trying to make a quick buck and fake a hack. I mean, this guy is the most sincere, genuine person out there, and if there's anything I can do to help, I certainly hope this is part of it. Guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update, and for now, Nickel out.
And yes, I have already rebuilt a Gallardo, which brings us to the point of like, do we bother continuing to repair this car? Which I think we kind of made that decision. It is repairable. We could do it. And if it had the sentimental value to me that my previous Gallardo did, we would be doing it. But on this case,
Kane, King, Langford, Lummis, Marshall, McCormick, Moody, Moran, Moreno, Ricketts, Risch, Rosen, Rounds, Schmidt, Scott of Florida, Scott of South Carolina, Keene, Sheehy, Tillis, Tuberville, Wicker, Young. Senators voting in the negative. Also Brooks, Baldwin, Bennett, Blumenthal, Blunt Rochester, Kelly, Kim, Lujan, Markey, Merkley, Murphy, Murray, Ossoff, Hall, Peters, Reed, Sanders, Schiff, Slotkin, Smith, Van Hollen, Warner, Warnock, Warren, Welch, Whitehouse. Mr. Curtis, aye. Ms. Collins, aye. Mr. Kennedy, aye. Mr. Schatz, no. Mrs. Blackburn, aye. Ms. Cantwell, no.
But I don't have 3947.
Mr. Cruz, aye. Mr. Booker, no. Mr. Mullen, aye. Mr. McConnell, aye. Mr. Husted, aye. Mrs. Gillibrand, no. Mr. Padilla, no. Mr. Thune, aye. Mr. Lee, aye. Mr. Schumer, no. Mr. Haggerty, aye. Mr. Wyden, no. Ms. Murkowski, aye. Mr. Kramer, aye. Ms. Klobuchar, Ms. Klobuchar, no. Mr. Justice, aye. Mr. Sullivan, aye.
On this vote, the yeas are 60 and the nays are 40. 3/5 of the senators duly chosen and sworn have voted in the affirmative. The motion is agreed to. Cloture having been invoked, the motion to commit and the amendments pending thereto fall. Under the previous order, the pending amendments, other than the substitute amendment number 3937, are withdrawn and all post-cloture time is expired. The question occurs on the substitute amendment.
Mr. President, I yield back all, Mr. President, yield back all debate time.
Without objection. Questions on the amendment? Is there a sufficient second? There appears to be. Clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Alsobrooks, Ms. Baldwin, Mr. Banks, Mr. Barrasso, Mr. Bennett, Mr. Blumenthal, I did, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Senator, thank you. Mrs. Murray, thank you. Thank you.
You don't always have to, Nancy. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Blumenthal, Ms. Blunt Rochester. I did get you. Thank you very much. Mr. Booker. Thank you very much. Okay. You're a yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Give my reps the door.
Who?
Fetterman was trying to vote for more a minute ago. I'll get it.
Oh, tell him I've got him. Thank you.
I think the hard lifting is done.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Booker, Mr. Bozeman, Mrs. Britt.
And thank you, WPX Taco Man, for the support as well. Again, remember, you need 60 yays in order to make it happen, or 4 nays to shut it
Mr.
down.
Budd, Ms. Cantwell, Mrs. Capito, Mr. Cassidy. Ms. Collins, Mr. Coons, Mr. Cornyn, Ms. Cortez Masto.
And Mr. Patrick O'Neill, thank you as well for the support. I tried to say it as good as I can in her voice.
Mr. Cotton, Mr. Kramer, Mr. Crapo. Mr. Cruz, Mr. Curtis, Mr. Daines, Ms. Duckworth, Mr. Durbin. Ms. Ernst, Mr. Fetterman, Mrs. Fisher, Mr. Gallego, Mrs. Gillibrand, Mr. Graham, Mr. Grassley. Mr. Haggerty, Ms. Hassan. Mr. Hawley. Mr. Heinrich, Mr. Hickenlooper, Ms. Hirono. Mr. Hoven. Mr. Husted, Mrs. Hyde-Smith, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Justice. Mr. Kane. Mr. Kelly, Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Kim. Mr. Kingscar.